What's up, my lambs? It's Hump-day Horror. That's right. We're playing a game called the Karoshi Club. What's going to happen in this game? I have no idea. So if you're, this is my obligatory content warning. Anything can happen. I don't know what's going to happen. If you're not into things that are happening that you don't want to happen, this might not be the game for you. We are playing in English because that's the only language I skipped because I got no brain dead. All right, what do we got here? That's true. Damn. All right, it's already hitting us with the real problem of skilled professionals being laid off. A problem that is absolutely happening. All right, how did your job interview go today? Let's start this day. Okay, we got some sick art and some sick music. I'm already into it. All right. All right, it's time to get into the Karoshi Club. So I think this is a visual novel style game. Not sure. This is a story-driven game that does not have a save system. It requires you to complete your interview without any interruptions. All right, I can't be interrupted, I guess. Let's get our interview done. All right. Number 1. Escape button or the escape key will reset your progress and end the game. But it can help you skip the job. What? Help you skip the job interview. I'm sorry. Escape button will reset your progress and end the game. How can that help if I just skip the job interview? I guess that helps if I just skip it. We can just get some sweet nepotism perks. A piece of paper at the top of your screen or the S key opens the settings where you can control the sound. Okay, that's good. That's nice. What do we got? We got a space bar to continue the story. Click the pulsating arrow. Or press the space bar key. Bam. Nailed it. Oh my god, that's a lot of days. Day 4,364. Ring, ring. Uh-huh. The frosty timbre of a woman's voice emanating from the device. Greetings. Slight disarray invaded me, prompting the befuddled greeting in return. Hello. The unidentified voice persisted. I am Hitomi Takamitsu. Yep, nailed it. Representing Kineo Industries as a recruiter. A dialogue was scheduled for this time with Mr. Takashi concerning an interview with our firm. May I confirm, is this Mr. Takashi with whom I am conversing? It is serendipity bestowing is this serendipity bestowing a gift upon me? We clearly are not that man. It has spanned months since my employment ceased. My search for new employment has been steeped in desperation, yet futile. I remained barred from even reaching the interview phase. Desperation has only swelled with every refusal. Dare I seize this unexpected opportunity? Dare I masquerade as Mr. Takashi to garner an interview? But What then of the real Mr. Takashi? And of my fate should my deceit be unveiled? My musings was interrupted by the individual on the line. Excuse me, are you present? I am unable to detect your voice. Can you confirm this is Mr. Takashi? A subtle undertone of annoyance permeated the woman's voice. I mean, we can't be, it's not gonna end well, right? We tell the truth. I apologize. There seems to be a mistake. Mr. Takeshi isn't present. My name is Heishima Kenji. A palpable silence ensued, followed by my declaration. A brief interlude hung in the air before the woman responded. Peculiar, indeed. Are you certain Mr. Takeshi? I'm gonna keep on saying it 1,000 times. Is unavailable? I am, yes. Truthfully, I'm the only one here. I can feel the slip of what might be my lone opportunity for employment through my fingers. But to fabricate a lie seems amiss. May fortune favor Mr. Takeshi, wherever he may be. Well, farewell then. Halt! A query for you, Mr. Heishima. Hayashima? Sure. Is employment something you currently seek? Can it be? Is she genuinely considering offering me employment? Given that Mr. Takashi failed to provide a response today, I might propose that you attempt an interview for the sales specialist role. Does such a proposal pique your interest? Are you kidding me? Of course it does. This is the stuff of dreams. I must maintain composure and marshal my thoughts. Yes, actually, I am interested. Then proceed to our office, utilizing the address I shall subsequently provide today, 1 to 11, Tsuji, Chuko, Tokyo. Sure, that's a place. Understood. Thank you. Farewell. The woman concluded the call. An invitation to interview for employment at last rests in my possession. That's correct. It teeters on the unbelievable. It appears that honesty bore the ripest fruit after all. Alright. Sometime later, let's do it. Boarding the subway, my mind swirled in the vortex of imminent interview. An oppressive fear burgeoned within. Fear of unmet expectations. Fear of error. Fear of initial perceptions. Fear of refusal. Fear of rivals. Fear of the unfamiliar. And paramountly, fear for the future. What does the future reserve for me? Merely slumbering once at my former employment has thrust me into nearly a year's endeavor of job hunting. Anxiety and fear have manifest as persistent shadows ever present in my journey. Did you catch the latest? That Dufus isn't waving the white flag yet. My despairing contemplations of job-seeking stark reality were interpreted by the casual dialogue of two women. He tossed his resume back in the ring. No way. He seriously thinks they'll give him a shot? What's this? His sixth swing at it? It seems they discourse about another individual, similarly mired in futile job seeking. Their discussion exacerbates my own apprehensions. Here's the kicker. He smacked down every time with the one word, no. And oh, keeping a straight face each time, it's a workout. What do you say we place bets on when this loser throws his hat in again? Does he get that with his track record? He's not scrubbing floors there. With her rhetorical question, she succumbs to laughter. Her companion joins in, equally derisive in mirth. A bewildering unease envelops me. Overhearing such dialogue is far from the mental preparation I sought prior to my impending interview. Self-doubt accelerates my heartbeat. Panic looms, menacingly close. My surroundings begin to oscillate before my eyes. Desperation for stability, something steadfast, consumes me. Even a moment's surrender would see me crippled on the subway floor. Composure is imperative. A surge of nervousness compels me to retrieve my resume. I scrutinize it, weighing my prospects anew. Tempting to conjure positive thoughts, my mind is infiltrated by even graver considerations than before. Is my current opportunity genuinely merited? It's mere luck, isn't it? Is this job truly necessary for me? Should I withdraw before potentially faltering? Is further experience necessary? Is previous rejection rooted in this? Am I deserving of employment? Am I adept for a role as a sales specialist? Questions mercilessly bore into my mind, yearning for answers. Answers I desperately require to all these inquiries. All right, let's we're staying on the path of truth. Got strange finger art on that. What is that an ad for up top above his head? I have no idea. Gross, whatever it is. We're telling the truth. Does a resolution to that next inquiry exist? In honesty, my knowledge reaches its limit. I am uncertain if I embody the right individual for the position. That's a very strange way to say that. I harbor doubts about successfully navigating through the interview. My competencies remain under a cloud of ambiguity. The sole clarity lies in the understanding that without an attempt, success eludes me. Indeed, doubts may cloud my vision, but until an interview is secured, these worries, they stand as mere apparitions. My mind spins tales of anxieties, envisioning unencountered problems. However, contending with the non-existent is a futile endeavor. Initially, I must secure an interview. And if I fail it, only then the problem materializes in reality. In reality, it can be navigated through negotiation. All right, thank God the train has arrived. What a horrifying realization. That's what anxiety does to you. Lost in reflections of whether my skills were sufficient, I scarcely noticed my arrival at the designated spot. There I was, dwarfed by the towering, multi-tiered office structure. He cast a modern shadow over the antiquated adjacent building. The vast glass panes caught the sun's rays, shimmering warmly. Could it be that I might find my place within these walls? Joining a large corporation has long been a dream of mine. I pondered what experiences lay beyond the formidable facades. Memories of the past began a sketch out of vision of my potential workdays. Within, the pulse of daily commerce thrummed unseen. Someone, surely, was lingering over the fresh pot of coffee, exchanging words on the mundane. Others might be queuing for their turn at the communal printer, a bottleneck in their efficient day. And perhaps one or two sought refuge in a bathroom cubicle, stealing moments of respite. Such trivialities once wove the fabric of my own days. Now, amidst a job hunt stretching nearly a year, a sense of duality plagued me. Had I truly lived before this interlude, or have I diminished to a mere specter of my former vitality? Eagerly, I anticipated stepping inside to soak in the ambience. If only for a moment. Observing the edifice that steeling myself for the forthcoming challenge, a tall girl's approach caught the corner of my eye. Mr. Hayashima, good to see you. Good to see you too. She greets with a professionalism that is almost curt. A niggling unease whispers in me beneath her formal veneer. Goddamn, that was a hard sentence to say. It's a pang. It's a pang of being just another applicant. The pang of being... What? It's that pang of being just another applicant. Potentially a number in her quota. I sense a rehearsal quality to her cordiality? A practice mask worn by necessity. Damn, these are a lot of words I don't normally say. My small brain's having a hard time talking. Alright. It dawns on me. This is her routine. Her daily armor against the world of revolving faces. How long has she been donning this persona? Does the weight of it ever press on her too heavily? When last did she cast it aside, if ever? Might the day arrive when the mask and the woman behind it merge irreversibly? Mr. Hayashima, you seem preoccupied. Is there an issue? Oh no, just lost in thought for a moment. If you would please come this way. Alright, she already thinks he's a bit of a weirdo. That is for sure. We can proceed with our discussion inside. Of course. Thank you. As I shadowed Miss Takamitsu, a sense of unease crept in. Abruptly, it dawned on me that our destination wasn't the towering structure I had envisioned. Rather, Miss Takamitsu was guiding me towards its neighbor. A dated, robust, 8-story edifice. But why? Where was this dream of a sleek, contemporary workspace? Miss Takamitsu, shouldn't we be heading to the other building? No. Her response was brief and somewhat sharp. Should you succeed the interview, this will be your place of work. My heart sank with this disillusionment. Why do you care? It's just a smaller building, bro. You haven't had a job in over a year. Suck it up. The fantasy of a chic new office had been fleeting. Nevertheless, I braced myself to reconcile with the stark reality. Oh yeah, here we go. As we stepped into the elevator, the ascent to the upper echelons of the building began. Destination, the interview suite, high above. where my future hung in the balance. With each foreblast, my heartbeat quickened, a crescendo of nerves. The confined space, sterile glow of the elevator lights only fueled my growing dread. Retreat somewhere more appealing with each passing moment. The sluggish climb skyward did little to calm my fraying nerves. Miss Takamitsu, is it always this slow going up? The elevator is rather dated. Patience is required. Oh, I see. Thank you. Her assurance offered no solace. The ticking clock became my adversary. Each tick a loud echo of time slipping away. Mr. Haisamiya, whatever. On our way up, might you share a bit about your life outside of work? This is like dating sim? What are we going on? What's going on? About my personal life? Well, there's not much to tell, really. I moved away from where I grew up and kinda lost touch with my parents. And work? Well, it used to take up most of my time. Never really got around to the whole marriage and kids thing. I guess I always thought my career should come first, and the rest would sorta sort itself out eventually. I see. Her reaction was non-committal, inscrutable. She had hoped for a different portrait of my life. A fabrication involving a family, perhaps. And what of leisure activities? She's probing for a workaholic confession, or genuinely intrigued about my outside life in the office. Hobbies? Well, to be honest, I haven't had much time for hobbies. Work was pretty much it, improving my skills and staying on top of things, you know. Is that genuinely me? Lately, my pastimes have faded into the gray. The job hunt blurred days into a continuous loop. I've been adrift in this limbo since the day I lost my job. Intriguing. Thank you. Mr. Takamitsu's facade was a fortress, her emotions veiled. One could but speculate on her true thoughts. But our exchange had its intended effect. The dialogue outpaced the journey, but before I knew it, we arrived. This way, please. We've arrived. Alright, that's enough of my elevator voice. I stepped into the nondescript office. Its familiarity a cold comfort. It was like every other room, a copy of countless other that punctuate the corporate world. Miss Takamitsu proposed. Sorry, the music got me. Got some drums and stuff going on. Positioned herself behind the desk with an air of detachment. Please take a seat. Sure, thanks. The pivotal moment had come. The dry spell in my career had been lengthy. This interview was the long-awaited break in the clouds. I couldn't afford to stumble now. The stakes were high. The stakes, everything was high. Questions loomed on the horizon of my mind. What could she ask? What should I say? Doubts about my qualification nipped at me. Was I enough? A temptation to embroider my past tugged at me. But what if truth was the better gamble? Time dragged its feet, each second bloated and heavy. I played out potential scenarios. Miss Takamitsu's reaction shifted like quicksilver in my head. none quite setting right. My thoughts, usually my sanctuary, became a tempest, forecasting doom, painting me in the dreary light of future rejection. It was as if I had fast-forwarded to a future where I perpetually searched for work, a self-inflicted purgatory. But as anxiety threatened to overtake me, I pulled the brakes on the runaway train of my thoughts. Reality called me back. Miss Takamitsu was right there, a present at Stark Stage, waiting for my performance. Mr. Haishima. Haishima? Yeah, sure. Your presence here today for the sales specialist roles is much appreciated. Shall we commence with the questions? Preparedness eludes me. Sure, I'm ready. Excellent. My first question. Where do you envision yourself in a century's time? A curveball question? In 100 years? The realm of impossibility, right? It was given an end to all. Death, as certain for me as for all. Perplexed, I wondered at her aim. Perhaps this was a test of creative thinking. I decided to play along. A dash of humor might do the trick. I guess I'll be the most seasoned expert around. Ha! By quite a few decades. Very well. Hitomi's expression remained unreadable. Now, may I inquire why you parted ways with your last employer? We have to tell the truth, because she gonna do some digging. Look at that face. We're truthers here, okay? Honesty is the only path, even if it's strewn with my own failings. Acknowledging where I went wrong is the first step to moving forward, isn't it? The job was tough, no two ways about it. Worked till the wee hours, lots of nights. Wasn't just me though, a lot of us did. Then, one time, I conked right out at my desk. No clue how it happened. 1 minute I'm working, the next I'm being shown the door. It all went down so quickly. The memory of being let go, it's all a blur, honestly. Okay. Your employment gap is noteworthy. Please explain its length. All right, we're truthers. Hardcore truthers here. The truth has its own stark clarity. The veil of fiction feels too weighty to drape over my narrative. My last position was in an industry that's, well, not exactly booming. I was part of a small team making video games, a niche within a niche. I hit the job market aiming to stick with gaming, but it's been tough sell lately. So, I've widened my search, you know? I'm up for new challenges, willing to learn. Just looking for a place where I can dedicate myself, really dive in. Once, I was all about the gaming life. Now, I just want to work, be part of something. Success in this interview would lead you to the position of sales specialist. Can you tell me about what experience you have in sales? All right, let's sell ourselves on sales with the right sells, the truth sells. Now's the moment to shift through my memories for anything relevant. A buddy of mine owns a quaint little shop. They deal in fresh produce and brews. There was a time I had stepped in for him just temporarily. Clearly, I'm not seasoned in sales. But that's not to say I can't pick it up. I'm quite keen on embracing new experiences. It is not uncommon for firms to look for a fresh slate, people that can just shape their ways. I could be the blank canvas they're looking for to paint upon. What sort of critical decisions were you demanded of in your previous position? Could you detail the most strenuous challenge you were encountering with professionally? Okay, this is like absolutely need truth in this, because, like, as a game developer, there's no way they didn't get, like, they didn't get dogged on. Crafting worlds within the digital realm is a feat of Sisyphean proportions. Yeah, it's insane. Indeed, the quandaries I've braved may appear trivial in the uninitiated bystander. With a hesitation to resolve, I muster the courage to speak. My tenure in the realm of game creation was fraught with trials. A tug of war started between the vision of our publisher and the heartbeat of our creative team. It was kind of tough, attempting to serve two sides and fulfill a duo of visions. Amidst this, the projects morphed repeatedly, each interaction leeching our collective spirit. The most harrowing choice? To quell my own creative spirit and align with the publisher, all the while perceiving the essence of our initial dream. Such a concession was nothing short of a torment of my creative soul. Very well. It's common for unexpected developments to disrupt our schedules. Such instances may necessitate an employee's presence beyond regular hours. That's a dick move, Miss Takamitsu. Will you pay me for those extra hours? Unlikely. Your stance on overtime? I love overtime pay. The undercurrents of her question are clear, yet I must tread carefully, with the truth as my compass. May I speak candidly, Miss Takamitsu? The prospects of persistent overtime is somewhat troubling to me. I understand that extraordinary circumstances require extra efforts to meet objectives. Yet, habitual overtime may suggest deeper systematic issues within the organization. Moreover, adequate rest can be crucial for innovative and maintain a sharp focus on work. Thus, my preference leads towards a balance, steering clear of chronic overtime where feasible. Such honesty may not align with her expectations. Nevertheless, I stand by my conviction, voicing my sincere stance on this delicate matter. We've noted your perspective. There are individuals who, due to insufficient income, opt to take multiple jobs simultaneously. Your views on juggling multiple employment roles. I mean, we're going to go with the truth. This inquiry strikes a chord, piercing the veil of a prevalent concern. Indeed, Mrs. Takamitsu is delving deep, exposing the core of modern dilemma. Balancing several projects concurrently was a taxing experience for me. I understand the rationale financial needs to drive people to stretch their limits, yet I harbor concerns about the toll of dual employment extracts on an individual's time and vitality. It is it's a tough lifestyle. I mean, I'm not going to say a bad lifestyle. It's definitely a tough lifestyle. Having two jobs at once is harrowing, to say the least. An extremely difficult situation to be in, and does not leave time for self-help in any capacity. No bueno. One job, if you're working a job that you're already working full-time hours for, you should be paid enough to live. I believe. It's not always the case, but should be the case. It's becoming less and less the case, unfortunately. Such strain can diminish focus and degrade life quality, ultimately impacting one's health adversely. And who better to understand this than someone in my shoes? In an ideal world, one would commit a singular path and cultivate depth within it. Alas, time is an unyielding and finite master, with but 24 hours to dispense daily. Understood. Here's my final query. Your earnings in sales may be closely tied to your bonus acquisition. What lengths would you go to ensure you receive it? Alright, let's see the lengths we'll go. We're truthing it. This prospect of a bonus is certainly appealing. Yet, the notion of succumbing... Oh, I didn't read it. My commitment to achieve the objectives within the allotted time work schedule. but not at the expense of my personal well-being or time. I aim to maintain a sustainable pace that supports both the company's goals and my team's needs. I've previously stretched myself too thin, and what was the yield? Now, it's essential to prioritize a more balanced approach. I believe in my ability to navigate challenges, but with deliberation. Progress, measured and steady, is the key. We've concluded our discussion. That completes our assessment of the sales specialist role. I have no further inquiries. May I ask about the next steps? I will now proceed to communicate the outcome. So swiftly. Indeed, the dialogue has proved sufficient insight to determine your fit for the team. I have been truthful to the extent of my abilities. I've always believed that honesty carved a path through any fortress of falsehood. I hope that Miss Takamitsu would recognize and value that. Yes, perhaps it's not quintessential, perhaps I'm not the quintessential candidate, but I am reliable and earnest. Mr. Hayashima, do you not even grasp the gibberish you're spouting? The perceivably icy Mrs. Takamitsu's tone had abruptly turned, tinged with an unsettling fervor. Excuse me, what are you implying? I've been meticulously monitoring how you respond to my inquiries, and I must express my disappointment. It was a catastrophe. Tell me, how can you be so unbearably truthful? You were telling almost only truth, weren't you? And you genuinely believe that this honesty would aid you? Huh? What's going on here? I was completely baffled by the unfolding of events. Mrs. Takamitsu seemed to grit her teeth with every word she spoke, as if each sentence she formed was a laborious task. As though I pained her physical, as though it pained her physically to utter these statements. Miss Takamitsu, is everything all right with you? Is everything all right with me? What do you think? I was at a loss for words. Decided to try a fresh tactic this time, did you, Kenji? You know how I detest all of this. What did I do to deserve this? Why must you treat me this way? To confess my confusion would be an understatement. Something drastic has happened to Miss Takamitsu. I wasn't even sure I was still dealing with Miss Takamitsu. It was as if she was possessed by some sort of monster. As the thought crossed my mind, I noticed her transformation wasn't just behavioral. Her visage was distorting, and a new set of eyes began to emerge from her flesh. She resembled more a gelatinous abomination than a human being. Oh God, this is your doing. Petrified, I witnessed the impossible become reality. Meanwhile, Miss Takamitsu, or whatever she has become, loomed closer. Thank you for coming in. We'll be in touch. Congratulations. You passed the interview. You're hired. Her words dripped with irony as she stretched each syllable. Did you expect a different outcome, Kenji? Surely not this one. Her laughter was deafening and manic. I was in shock by the unfolding nightmare. I needed to flee her office, yet my body refused to cooperate. The situation was sheer madness beyond comprehension. and my mind raced for an escape, I failed to notice her encroaching presence. She bore no resemblance to the woman I had met. Kenji! My name emerged from her, once a symphony of human intonations, now a guttural snarl. Paralysis gripped me. Action remained a distant concept. Could this be the conclusion of my tale? Oh, Kenji, you seem more appetizing than usual. All right, well, every hot interview ends with someone getting eaten, you know? It's kind of a bop. Definitely a bop. Oh, hell yeah. Thank you, music composers Verum Corner and Diva. I mean, that's pretty sweet. We got the job. All we wanted was to get the job. All right. Perfect. And, this is, that was the game, I guess. Pretty sweet. And, well, welcome to the Karoshi Club 2023. That was a bop. And I will catch you next Wednesday for Hump Day Horror. Or, you know, daily on my daily uploads, because I upload daily. You know that. It's mostly Caves of Lore for right now, while this is out. But, catch you next Wednesday, and, bye for now.